Hi and welcome to this live currency strength indicator tables video. My name is John. I'll be taking you through the tables this Monday the 28th of November. Here you can see we have two tables in front of us. We have the trend traders table and the day traders table. These are showing the same studies but just highlighting different time frames. So our trend traders is our higher time frame, our day traders is our lower time frame. You can see here some of the currencies are highlighted in green. That's showing us that there is a confluence between the two trading timeframes, and that's where we'll be focusing a lot of our attention in these videos. The tables auto update every 15 minutes 24/7, so wherever you are in the world, whatever time it may be, you can access the currency strength indicator tables at any point and get the latest update. So what the table's showing us for the start of this week, well, it's shown a little bit of a change. Kiwi was so dominant before in the previous weeks that started to change a little bit now. We've seen it fall away from our day traders sides and it's now S2 on the trend traders, and we've had a bit of a change at the top. So the yen is now the strongest currency on both the trend traders and day traders table. So that's where we're going to be looking at and focusing some attention today. The pound is the third strongest currency on the trend traders, which is interesting. And on the weak side of things, we have the dollar topping the table, same as sort of the end of last week. We have the Canadian dollar as W2, so the second weakest currency, followed by the Australian dollar as the third weakest currency. From a day trader's point of things, we know that the yen is the top, pound is second, and we have euro as the third strongest currency. And then on the weak side of things, we have the Canadian dollar as W1. We then have the US dollar as W2 and the Australian dollar as W3. So we're actually going to check out CAD yen today. We've got a couple of pairs that I want to just take you through because there's been some updates to some other pairs that we've recently talked about as well, so I want to jump onto those as well. But we're going to start off with CAD yen. CAD yen, really nice chart to look at the moment, especially because we're looking at seeing price reverse from these recent swing highs. So price came up into the 110 handle, came up into the 107 handle on the monthly chart and just rejected. Didn't really want to see any buyers above the 110. Sellers have pretty much took it this month and drove it to the downside. So quite a negative month here for the price of CAD yen. So if that's going to continue, where could it continue to? Well, we actually have this higher time frame trend line drawn in where the low starts around about the 1st of September 2021, and that expands out, and you can see that we have this level through here around about the 99 area or even up at this 100 area, which could act as an area of support for price if it was to continue lower. Going down to the weekly time frame, we can see that price, when it was trending up towards this 110 level, it kind of formed this bullish channel through here. We then had a breach of that bullish channel with this close below here, which was on the 6th of November. Ever since then, price has been continuing to push to the downside. So that week of the 6th of November, we saw price break out and we've traded lower ever since. And again, you can see we're approaching an area of support here. So if I was just go to the daily time frame, you can see it actually opens up quite a lot here because of our analysis from our higher time frames. But the daily really gives us a really nice perspective of what's going on with price at the moment. And you can see what basically happened was we traded below the 104 spot 50 handle, and we actually featured this on the 18th of November. So if you want to go back after this video and have a look at where price was on the 18th of November, we discussed the fact that price could consolidate here at the 104 spot 50 handle and then it could break through. It did that, it broke through to the downside, and now price is on its way down to the 102 handle here. So you can see after that breakout move just through there, price has traded 218 pips to the downside. So if you kept CAD yen on your watch list, that would have been a really nice move to jump on after that breakout. So we can see that price is continuing to the downside. The next level of interest is going to be this 102 handle. We're not quite there yet, so this could offer some opportunities both from a trend trader's perspective and the day trader's perspective. I think if you're going to look at it from a trend traders, I'd probably jump a little bit lower, perhaps the 8-hour time frame, and if price was potentially going to pull back on the trend traders time frame, what I'd be looking for in particular is a move back towards these previous lows through here. So around about the 103 spot 40 handle, 103 spot 50 handle. If price was to pull back to there from a trend trader's perspective, I'd be open to the idea of seeing sellers coming back into the market to see a move down to the 102 handle. We may not get that though, because we can see that from the tables, CAD is actually topping the day traders table, which means that on a lower time frame, the price could continue to the downside. So if I was actually going to jump in a little bit lower, so I'm actually going to go to the hourly time frame, you can see that price around about the 103 handle is a really interesting area, because we've had this nice sort of breakout to the downside here today. We had a nice lower high formed in there, and we've continued down. But what we have is the daily 200 MA sitting through here, as well as those previous lows through there. So if price was to come back to here from a day trader's perspective, it would also be interesting to see if sellers remain in at that point for an opportunity down to the 102 handle. So quite like CAD yen from the point of view from a day trader's and a trend trader's point of view. Obviously depends on what your trading style is, as how you can execute on that market. But if price was to trade through the 102, the next level is going to be that 99 level, or that 100 level that we pointed out from that monthly time frame. So that zone there could be one to watch if price was to trade through the 102 handle. Now, there were some other charts of interest, so I'm actually going to jump over to pound Aussie. I'm going to do this really quickly. I don't want to take too much of your time, but pound Aussie is featured on both the trend traders and the day traders chart, and we actually featured this last week, about the 22nd of November. We looked at if price would continue to push to the upside here for pound Aussie. So again, why were we looking at that? Well, it was featured on the tables, but from a higher time frame perspective, we were looking at this monthly bearish channel in here, and we were discussing if price would have come from the bearish channel lows at the 1.6 handle up to the bearish channel highs, which was around about the 1.85 handle, or even if price traded through that, could it come to the 1.9? So we have the higher time frame perspective showing us that we could see further upside in this market. Now, if we went to the daily time frame, we were looking around here to see what would happen to price, see if it could continue to trade higher. Now, I'm going to dive a little bit lower here, because what we actually looked at the time was this pin candle in here after it rejected this trend line support, and we talked about, you know, you could look for opportunities above that candlestick high, stops below the lows, with targets being the 1.8125 handle, and that was around about 200 pips away at the time. And you can see if you did look at that and you did enter that move, then you're around about 110 pips up at the moment, and the tables are still confirming that you should be holding this position. Alternatively, if you didn't look for that position, what you could have looked for was this pattern in here. Now, this it's very similar to the ascending triangle pattern. These patterns can often lead to good breakouts to the upside, and you can see here that's exactly what happened. Price came from down here, we consolidated, we broke the pattern to the upside, price has continued even higher. Now, if you're looking at it from a trend trading point of view, again, you may want to look for the retracement move before looking for price to move back to the upside. So you might want to wait for price just to come back a little bit before looking for a move to the 1.8125, just because you'll have a better reward to risk ratio. From a day traders, you know, we can see from the tables it is featured on the day traders chart, so you could look for opportunities here on a very short term. So if I was to go to the hourly, for instance, you can see that price is consolidating here think the better opportunity was down here at the 1 spot 79 sort of 50 handle. So if I was to wait for this personally, I'd probably look for more of the trend traders move rather than the day traders move. However, if you are still looking for trend trading opportunities, or sorry, day trading opportunities, I should say, you could look at another pair as well. So I've actually highlighted on my notes cable. So we're going to go over to pound US dollar. You see I've got it highlighted here on the hourly. I'm going to jump back a step. I'm just going to go to the monthly time frame. You know, why are we interested in cable? Well, pound has been featured on the strong side of the tables. Dollar has topped the weak side of the tables for quite some time now, so looking to see if that can extend higher. And from a monthly perspective, we've got multiple options. You know, price is technically trading between the 1 spot 42.50 handle and the 1 spot 15 handle, so we've got this kind of range going on, and we're at the bottom of the range, so price could start heading towards the top of the range. So that's something to be aware of from a higher time frame perspective. If I go through on the daily, you can see that price is making higher highs and higher lows, but we're approaching a key area of resistance now. So we've got the 1 spot 22.50 handle, which are these previous highs that formed back in August and back in August 2022. So those highs there could be something that price may want to target going forward. And you can see this very shallow pullback, this very low ranging pullback on this upward move, which to me suggests that sellers aren't as aggressive as buyers here, in terms of the sellers aren't really pushing price to the downside like they did over here with really aggressive moves. Instead, we're having very shallow pullbacks. So that could be profit taken from the larger time frame move, which means to me that maybe we could see another option to see a long. And what I've done is on the H1 chart, or the 1 hour chart, you can see we had multiple patterns here. Again, I'm just going to zoom in actually so we can see a little bit better. You can see what I've drawn in. I'm just going to scroll down a little bit so we can see our key levels as well. What we can see is we have this sort of consolidative pullback. Okay, now what price has done recently is traded through that trend line resistance and closed above. So again, is that kind of giving us a sign that there's a potential for price to start trading to the upside now, with opportunities coming into the 1 spot 21.18 handle, or even for a move up to the 1 spot 22.50 that we're looking at from our higher time frame. So definitely something to be aware of there from our day traders point of view. Nice little breakout potentially forming here on pound US dollar. I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you are watching this video at a later date and you are interested in how the live currency strength indicator tables can be implemented into your trading, then please head over to charlesclifton.co.uk. We run a trial period for £1, and you can see how you can access all these features here. Remember, you don't want to miss the next big move, so head over to this website and the details are below this video. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you soon.